Hello guys, today I'm going to talk about how to get started with Bitquery APIs. Because many people are new in GraphQL APIs, so it creates a lot of problem for people who have never interacted with GraphQL APIs to how to get started. So this is videos for those who want to use Bitquery but don't know how to get started. So there are three main ways to get started. Is one is Explorer. Another is our own IDE. You can see examples there. Third is like query builder. So we'll go through one by one through all of them, and we'll help you understand how to get started with our GraphQL APIs. And before that, let me introduce what is Bitquery. Bitquery is a blockchain data company. We create blockchain data products. We provide it through GraphQL APIs, which is one of our major interface, but we also provide some other interfaces through SQL and others on our enterprise customers. But normally, it's on retail sites, GraphQL APIs. Um, you can query more than 40 blockchains through our APIs, and it's pretty simple if you once you understand them how to use them. So let's get started. So this is our explorer, which is explorer.bitquery.io. Before doing starting here, you just open this graphql.bitquery.io and sign up. Basically, just get sign up here. So it will helpful when we um, it will be helpful in the later steps you will see. So once you sign up here, okay, let's go back to the explorer.bitquery.io. This is our explorer, which is a showcase of our own APIs. It is currently not directed to retail customers. It's mostly to how to see data, blockchain data, and actually how to see what are the APIs which is getting this data. For example, let's see Ethereum. This is Ethereum latest blocks. You can see transactions, gas analytics, transfers. These are the calendar. You can change date for from here. For example, let's get it for today. These are today's transfers. So transfers and transactions are different thing. Transfers are like normal ERC20 and other transfers. So let's say, for example, you will see this get API everywhere. If you click on this, you will get the API which is getting this data. So let me show you, for example. Let's click on this. It will take you to our own IDE. So our Explorer is the best way to actually search our own APIs. So you will see a lot of columns here. You can search address transactions, and you can see what type of data is available, and you will see this get API everywhere. That will help you to actually get the data. So this is the API which is we use for transfer. If you open this, you can prettify it. Okay. You see, this section is a parameter section where we can write parameters for our own query. I will show you how to, if you don't want to add parameters, how to do that. But this is good if you want to do programmatically. If you want to do a programmatically access to our queries, you can actually simply sign up and you can get API key. This, for example, mine to actually get the programmatically access of our own APIs. So once you run it, you will see that it is the same data JSON which is creating this loop, right? Now, of course, you can change these parameters, you can change this query. We'll not get those into details. This is the builder on the left, you'll see. Using this builder, you can see what are the options available. This is the same builder I'm going to talk about later to how to use this to create queries, right? So for example, now you see the results. So let's get back to the Explorer. For example, you'll see a lot of details here. For example, these are tokens. For example, get more details. You can see which query is getting this data. If you click on this get API, dexes are there. These are available dexes. You can go inside a dex and see these are like latest trade. Let's say, for example, you want latest trades from Uniswap. This you find it, you click on this get API, you will get the query which is getting these trades. Now Let's go to a token. For example, let's go to this STRN token. Now, this is token related data. For example, you can see these are token attributes. Attributes you can use to actually get a lot of details. For example, these token attributes are actually read only component from the token contract. Let it load. Sometimes it takes, many times it takes to load the schema. So be patient. Once the schema is loaded, you'll see this get green. Okay, you'll see these details. For example, let's try to see if we have attributes here. We can actually change the queries as you want, basically. So these are the smart contract attributes from the token. This is total supply, which you can use to get the market cap. If you have total supply and the latest price of this token, I'll create more videos frequently to get different types of data through our APIs. In the later phases, I'll create a specific video around how to use our own DEX APIs. It's cool. So this is how you change this thing. So our Explorer is like is the most powerful weapon to actually get started with our own APIs. So next, let's say if you want to see traits of this token, you'll see these are token pairs. These are like details. These are traits, latest traits of these token pairs, and you can actually get the price of the token against the for getting the latest traits of the token. So now let's say let's open a transaction. For example, you can get transaction specific data if this transaction has transfers. For example, transaction has transfers, dex rates, sort of calls, events. You can get all this data and more, basically. So let's open a specific address. So this is address specific data. For example, the currency sent and received, the balance, the inbound, outbound, the smart contract calls, transactions, right? So you get this address specific data. So anything you want to learn and anything you want to check if you have the data or not, the easiest way is to check our own Explorer. If you check the Explorer search transaction or address here, choose the proper blockchain. Always remember when you're searching something, choose the proper blockchain. Um, once you uh, once you find it, you'll see what data is available. Based on that, you'll find more data actually. For example, cool. Now let's go to our own ID. This is ID which is we built for to test, to create, to share a blockchain data APIs or queries, and basically to test them. Basically, how to, because if these are graphical APIs, you will need some tooling, for example, Postman or something to test it out. So we built it this explore our own ID, so we can control the experience. At the same time, we can provide more features um, which we think is helpful for our own users. And you can one more thing, you can check all sorts of details under your account section. For example, if you click on here, you will see the accounts details. You can see billing here, your API key, API usage. You can also see what queries you are running, if there are complex queries you are running, if there are frequent queries which you are running, errors, and actually system status. If there is a, you see the system status. If you see any problem here, for example, you can see the data delays or anything if you want to see. So there's all sorts of rich information available under your account. So let's go back to our own Explorer, our own ID. Cool. So let it load. So now this is our own builder. Before builder, let's show you something. There is a search option, and you can actually create queries and share them. So let me try to create a query using our own builder. So let's say, and one more thing to remember is like to, for example, let's talk about Ethereum, right? So Ethereum is a data type and it has a lot of network inside it. All the EVM chains we support is come under Ethereum data type. So you can see here, right? BSC, Matic, Velas, Clayton, Avalanche, Phantom, Moonbeam, everything is under Ethereum data type basically. You can select your network. Now, for example, let's say you want to get the latest blocks on Ethereum, for example, right? For example, or let's say you want to get the count of the blocks on Ethereum. So this is a simple API, right? You see here. So this section, let me run it and show you. So this is on Ethereum. Let's say we change the change the network to BSC. The API will remain same, and you can get the count of block on BSC network. Now, this section is. Let me show you. Let me add some more things. For example, let me add filters. So let me add a date filter. Date after, let's say, 2022. This is eighth month, and okay. So this, and let's say after one. So we wanted to know how many blocks after this date on BSC network, right? So these these many blocks, right? So this section is filter. You can add it. This is a body part. There is a block on our uh, own blog. There is an article on our blog post, our own blog website, basically. Um, Let me search it. Oh, here you will find how our APIs are structured. So see this section. This section is called dataset, which I told Ethereum. Let me make it big. One second, huh? Oh. Now this section is a data type section. This is actually API. These are filters. You see all these options, date, exchange name base. This is filters. Then these are dimensions, like what type of data you're trying to pull. Ignore everything like these things. Like you can actually add matrices, but this let's see the bigger picture here. So for example, this is whole part which we call dimensions, actually the data you are want to pull in. These are the filters, and this is the API, and this is the data type, right? And every different, for example, Bitcoin is a data type which have Bitcoin SV, Gcash, Dogecoin, and other blockchains. Ethereum has all the EVM chains. Then we have other, for example, Cosmos, and then the flow and different basically. For example, Solana is also there. For example, so let's come back, right? So this is our builder part which you can use to actually create queries, and many people use this. It is very helpful. Maybe initially it takes little time. You can always ask questions on our community and Telegram, but initially it's not too much difficult, but it might take little time easily initially to understand how this works. But this is very helpful for many people to create queries. But let's say, even though if you're not sure how to create these queries and you don't know, for example, and you click on this explore part, right? This one. Now here you can actually see the queries which are people created. For example, the queries we created, we can save it. For example, latest blog on BSC after 1st August 2022. Cool. My first tutorial query. Cool. Shared with everyone. Save it. Right? Now you get this URL, right? Now if you open this URL and share it to anyone, for example, this. Okay, cool. So share it to anyone, it will load the API, the query you created, and actually it will show it. So it is this way you can actually create the API, and you can save them, and you can share it to other people, and other people can fork it and change accordingly if they want. So now a lot of people actually created the APIs and stored them or shared them on our own application. For example, these are the there are at least more than 2,000 queries which are shared here. For example, like, not just to the, I guess there are more than 3,000 APIs now. So now you can search, for example, let's say latest coin, for example. It will help you to find the data if you are looking the latest price of what, for example. Let's search newly. So let's search for newly created Ethereum tokens. You can fork this query, prettify it. Okay, cool. These are the uh, latest created. No, yes, this is late. This is not the correct query, I guess. There are a lot of people who create queries, but they might not be correct. So you need to be sure. For example, these are created by our own community, so you can always need to test if the query is correct or not. For example, this one. Okay, cool. This is the correct query. I fork it, verify it, let's run it. Right? Okay, so you see this. This is the one of the major problem that if you query takes time, usually it's not actually optimized. And you can see here in the points, it consumed 622 points. It means it is not optimized. You need to optimize it, and the best way to optimize it to limit the data set the API is trying to query. For example, I add a date filter here after because it's I'm checking for latest token, so I don't need to go more than 1 day back. So let's say I'll put today is 15th August, so I'll put 14th, right? How fast you see how fast this query was. It just ran like it didn't, and you can see these are the latest tokens which are getting created on Ethereum network. We might not know their name because they are recently created, but eventually those names get loaded. Right, there is limit 10, so it's showing 10, 10 only 10 details. You can get max 25,000. This limit can change in future, but for now it's 25,000. Let's get to 250. Right, see it's ran pretty fast. Right, so this token is created today, and you see it took only 2.17 points. So using date filter, you can optimize always. Date is the best filter, and if you want to use the time date, if you want to actually include the time also, you can see time after something like 08 14 t like 12. So the difference between date and time filter is like date only takes the date part, time actually consider this part also. So remember this part. Okay, I guess this is not the correct format. Try this. So, so this is how it works basically. Now this is there are a lot of queries here. You can actually search. For example, go on Dex Trades. You see how many queries are created. There are a lot of queries in Ethereum. You can see you can actually search queries here. If you have anything you want to search, uh, on Bitcoin side, you can search. For example, CoinPath. We have CoinPath APIs which help you to track assets on blockchain. I'll create a video on that too. You can see a lot of example there. So now there are three ways. So one is to, as I explained, is Explorer. This is our Explorer. Second is our own builder, and third is like to search existing queries to find out these one to find out what are the queries already created, and you can actually take benefit out of it. The queries created on different networks on Solana and different, you can always use them, right? Cool. So now one more last thing I want to tell you is you can sorry for this one second on this part, yes. So you can actually also save your query in private mode. You will see here my query side. If you save it, I guess I don't have a lot of private queries. Everything is public. So this is a doc section. If you already understand how to read GraphQL docs, then this section is for you. It will be very helpful if you're looking for certain thing. For example, balance, cordon, asset balance. You see what type of fields it needs, a filter it needs, and what type of results it's gave, what type of data type is there, and sort of those things. And if you want to learn more about, if you have any questions, you can always ask in our community forum. This is community.bitquery.io. We also have a Telegram, t.me/bloxy.info. This one, t.me/bloxy.info. You can join there. We are pretty active there. We always answer. So community and Telegram, these are two ways. We also have support dot bitquery.io. You can use that also. So, and you can read more our blogs in the Bitquery /blog, and there are a lot of blogs we write on our own community forum. You see a lot of tutorials we write, small tutorials. You can always read them. How to create a whale alert like service on Bitquery. You can read this. See, and this is these are the tutorials we create. So it will help you to actually learn more about our APIs. And if you're not sure what type of data, if we provide certain type of data or not, come join on our Telegram, and we will answer all your questions. I hope this video is helpful. And if you want to learn more about our own APIs or blockchain data, please subscribe to this channel. I guess this is our first video, so it will be very helpful if you like and share this. Thank you.